kind of like the NHL enforcing hits to the head.
There we go.
I'm proud of that one.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Okay, so last night there was a little play behind the net where Jesperi Kotkaniemi turns around into a hit from Dylan Dubé, who got into the lineup last night. Great for him. He didn't hit him with his shoulder. He had his arms up and gets Kotkaniemi right in the head. No call on the ice. The ref is right there. Like, perfect view of it. Really, like, great. Fantastic. The head goes back, by the way. This isn't just like, oh, I'm down. Like, snap back. Like, was that head?
It was like Mortal Kombat-esque.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
It was close. It was getting
bad.
there.
Kotkaniemi didn't play the last 7 minutes of the second. Came back eventually for the third because concussion protocol, obviously.
Yeah.
Weber got a penalty for roughing afterwards because, you know, his rookie just got down. So don't give me this crap and veterans get the extra step because a rookie just got headshot. And now we look to see if player safety will do anything about this. Of course, there was nothing with Tyler Myers. The players had to enforce themselves with Joel Edmondson fight. Fantastic. That did so much. Another Finn, another important part of the Montreal's team, gets headshot. And I don't listen. We could talk about turning. This is kind of like when Gallagher got his jaw broken in against the Flyers, and it was like, well, because you know he turned. You know, it was supposed to be a cross check, and Gallagher turned around. If Gallagher was facing the other way, it wouldn't have been to his jaw. It would have been to the back of his head. This same scenario, Dubé had his freaking hands up when he gave the hit.
Yeah. He pushed off of it, yeah.
Yes.
I'll help you out here. The Canadian press. We all know the Canadian press.
And their style.
This is what was in their article after the game. Quote, this is a quote. Dubé's forearm launched into Kotkaniemi's head.
Where, in what world? Like, seriously. Do you not look at this again? I'm pretty Gary Galley on the broadcast. First game of the season, I've heard it. Like, I tuned into the game and I'm like, oh my God, like it's John Bartlett. I get a John Bartlett game. Yes. But then you hear Gary Galley and you hear him call Tyler Toffoli Michael Ryder all night. Michael Ryder has been in the Habs since 2013. And he's like losing it over how great this hit is. Brian Burke says there's nothing wrong with it because, of course,
Calgary.
I don't know if it's
safety old fashioned, but Calgary, I mean, why not? Did he draft Dubé?
I think he was part of the management team.
Anyway, but
that was 2016, right?
I don't remember. You would know better than I would.
Dubé was the real junior captain in 2017.
Yes. So here's what I'm kind of thinking here.
Yeah.
The IIHF, anytime there is head contact, they do the right thing and they suspend it. This isn't player discipline, okay? Or what did Brian Burke say the department used to be called when he ran?
I don't know. I'll find out. I'm actually looking him up right now.
Okay, because it's currently called player safety. It's player safety. This is the issue here. Forget about if it's a good hit or not. Yeah, the refs messed up. That should have been a penalty. That's an illegal check to the head. That's at least 2 minutes. Hits to the head are not safe. If there is nothing on this, if this is not at least a one-gamer, because Dubé doesn't have a history, and Kasikama Pascal was sort of breaking down this idea of what Peros kind of gives as his criteria. Apparently, there needs to be at least 50% head contact.
There was like 100%.
And you're thinking, like, first of all, how dumb is that? Like, it goes against the name of the department. You're supposed to keep players safe. And if there is nothing for this, we already have such a thing against player safety because they are just – George Peros is not – like, let's be honest. Fighting in hockey is not safe. He's not the right guy to run this. I'm saying this before any verdict because I'm just so not confident. And so much of this has gone under the radar. Like, it's so simple. It was a hit to the goddamn head. He was bleeding. He left the game for a bit.
Even if you want to make the argument that it wasn't the head, it was bare minimum the neck. Bare minimum. Like even if he was, let's say Kotkaniemi was turned around, like let's say his back was hit, like because Dubé was going in, and that's right, and then Kotkaniemi kind of turned. Even if he was still turned around, he still would have got him bare minimum the neck, right? Do you know what's like here? Like I'm touching my neck and the back of my neck. Like I'm pretty sure there's important things, right?
Neck, spine, pretty important
Yeah.
stuff.
Like pretty important stuff. Like I don't know. I don't know what the.
I just don't know what's like the whole deal with Montreal Finnish players getting targeted.
I don't know, Daniel, but I would love to know myself. I'd love to know that, like, thank God there's some depth on this team. Like, thank God.
Like what was he bent over? Like, because the argument is like he was okay. Sure, he was bent over a little bit.
They were fighting for a puck.
Like he was bent over a little bit. Like
But
this
he
much.
was- he
like
was
this
over.
much. This
Yeah.
much.
That's
So?
still, and it doesn't explain why Dubé is using
He was-
forearms.
But he was bent over the entire time. It's not like he went from this and then as like Dubé was coming and he was still bent over.
I'm a little annoyed that I can't find the hit in the highlights of the game because that's typical. Do you guys see that the Flames said that's he tweeted out like Attaboy Dubé and they deleted it right away?
I know.
I didn't see that, but that's pretty
like
gutsy.
so this is what I get. I don't know where he said it. I turned off the TV after the Leafs game, so he might have said it in between Winnipeg and the Winnipeg game and these two games. Apparently, he said, "I think it's a clean hit. You can't blow a guy up without making some contact with his head." I think that is the stupidest thing
no.
ever.
The thing is, it wasn't like it wasn't like a full on check. It looked like, like it wasn't a full on hit in a way. It was kind of like the arms outreached.
I think there's a major difference between hitting between a blatant head hit and blowing a guy up. I think there's a huge difference. 100%. Like you're not gonna change my mind on that one.
And it's not like he had the momentum there. They were fighting for the puck.
Like here's the thing, and it's not just in sports. I think this is a thing that happens everywhere. It's not one side or the other. There's this amazing thing called middle ground. So it's not, we want blatant head hits and we want absolute murder on the ice, or we want no hitting in the NHL. That's by far one of the dumbest arguments I have ever heard in my life. Ever. It makes zero sense to me how it's one side or the other. There's middle ground. There's literal middle ground that we're going to take out head hits. I never want to hear if this is the second time it goes unpunished. I don't ever want to hear the NHL ever talk about concussions again, ever. I don't want to hear the NHL talk about it. The PA can talk about it. I don't ever want to hear the NHL as a league talk about them caring about concussions, ever. Because this goes against everything. It goes against everything. You cannot sit here and tell me that them talking about saying, the concussions this and concussions that, you don't care, because hitting someone in the head can give someone a concussion, like purposefully. If you get hit, let's say this. Someone body check someone, you hit your head against the ice. It happens all the time. That's different. That is a completely different situation. It's not, he hit his head on the ice after a hit, so you should be suspended. No, it's when your forearm or when you literally your shoulder, your elbow, whatever goes into the guy's head, when it is the primary target.
Listen, you got it right really, really well there. Like, in what world do you normally see a hit like that? Like your arms going out. That's not how it works. Elbowing is a penalty. Like, even if he was just going for his back, that was almost boarding too. It was so dumb.
And there's no height. I know they mentioned the Tyler Myers, like, that's a big boy hit on like a smaller player. Like Kotkaniemi is a big guy.
It's like 6'3".
He's a tick man, as they say.
I just listen. There has to be something here. Like, again, you can see the discipline side and the intention of Dubé there. You can debate that all you want. If we're talking about intention, then I'll try and hear you out about a tall player being bent over and turning. Like, oh, I get that. Like, whatever. We can have the intentional debate, whatever. But the simple fact here is that they have to enforce hits to the head because, again, one more time, the Department of Player Safety is what I feel like a lot of people are missing, by the way. That, you know, like Brian Burke, who we love, but dude. Okay, that's everything on the Montreal front.
It's not MMA. Like, I don't understand. Like, in MMA, sorry, I'm so sorry, but just let me get this out.
No,
I'm
it's fine,
sorry.
it's fine,
Like,
yeah.
I think I've said this so many times on the podcast. I hate having to repeat it, but in MMA, the goal is to literally beat the crap out of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're signing up when Conor McGregor, when whoever signs up to go into a fight, they are willingly walking in there to get hit in the head.
Mm-hmm.
When John Tavares, when Jonathan Drouin, when Victor Mete, when whoever signs their contract, there's nowhere in there that says you might get hit in the head.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, like other leagues, like the NFL has done something about head hits, right? Like the head-to-head hit, like the helmet-to-helmet hit. They've realized that was bad. They implemented something about it.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we so far behind? What is it? What is it with this league in being so far behind in literally everything? Don't ever ask the question why you are dead last in the Big Four. Never. I don't want to hear it anymore because it's damn obvious now.
Mm-hmm.